Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video talking about the Sparrow Cosmetics highlighters that I picked up. I did pick up 6 from their collection. They have a ton more than that. But I wanted to talk to you about the 6 that I tried and give you my opinions on the product. If that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're going to get into it right now. I found them was actually through scrolling through Instagram, and I found some swatches of a palette that they did, which was sort of Lord of the Rings themed, and I ended up not picking up the palette because it does have pressed glitters in it, and I don't tend to use pressed glitters just because I don't want to risk like injuring my eyes. But I did look at the rest of their website and I felt like their highlighters were really pretty and I did want to try them, so I picked these ones up. The highlighters typically are about $9 a piece. I think there's a couple that are a little more expensive, like around the $12 price point. And then they had these which were on sale. These were some of their sale shades when I picked these up. These were all, I think, $5 or $5.50 a piece when I picked them up. They do occasionally have promo codes, so you can look out for those. And then I think the shipping was just a couple of dollars, maybe $3 or $4. It wasn't. When I got these in the mail, they were packed really well, and I didn't have any issues with breakage or damage with any of the shades that I picked up. And I do appreciate the fact that they put the names on the back of each individual shade so that you can remember them, because when you look at them this way, obviously they all look really similar. And comparatively, when I'm looking at them in person, I can see a little bit more difference for some of the shades than you can on film, but they do all look very similar, so it's good to be able to see the shade names on the back. Okay, so the 6 shades that I picked up, and of course I'm going to blind you here. These are the 6 shades. And I have 3 Clumsy, Liar, oh, I always forget one, Till the World Ends, Unusual You, and Forget. So 3 is supposed to be a white shade. It's supposed to be super, super bright. It's actually what I'm wearing on my face right here today. So you can see it definitely is going to blind to the gods. This one, which is Clumsy, is more of a pinky type shade, and I have it as a brow bone highlight, although it's a little bit more difficult to see. Till the World Ends is supposed to be a universal peach shade. And then this one, Liar, is a sort of purpley to white duochrome type shade. It's a purple base with a white duochrome. Unusual You is a peachy shade that goes to sort of a blue duochrome shift. Which is really hard to pick up because it's a very subtle shift, so that makes it a little bit more wearable, but it does make it very challenging to pick up on camera for you guys. And then Forget is sort of a minty frosty green with silver glitters in it. So obviously, if you can't already tell from the palette that these are sitting in, there is a ton of fallout. The way that this formula is created, it does make these very easy to kick up a lot of fallout, so you very, very gently tap your brush into these. If you go like ham sandwich into these, you're gonna hit pan like on your first try. I do think that that does allow for really nice spread of the product across your cheeks. So as you can see, like when I did mine, it's got a really nice like shift to it. It's got a really nice brightness to it. It picks up the light really well, and I think it blends out really nicely on the skin. But just know this is a very powdery formula, so I would not store it with any matte products that you want to keep matte. I only store a couple other Physicians Formula highlighters that I depotted in this palette, and I don't think I will ever use this palette for anything other than highlighters, just because of how much fallout is already there. But it is what it is. I think there are pros and cons to this formula. The other thing to note with this formula is the way that they pour it and the way that it settles. It does create kind of a like dip in the pan. Let me see. it creates kind of a dip in the pan, so you can see that this pan is not completely full. That's not because I have used this so much that it has worn down that far. It's how it settles. Not all of them settle in the exact same way. So if you see this Forget shade, it's almost completely full. It's just the way that these settle. Some settle more than others, and they have a little bit of information about that on their website too, if that's something that you want to see a little bit more about. They also do have instructions on their website for how to repress them should they shatter, and the repressing for their eyeshadows is different from the repressing for their highlighters, so make sure that you make note of that depending on what products you purchase. Now, let me see if I can swatch these for you. This will be my second time trying to swatch these. The first time I swatched them did not go well, so I'm gonna see if I can do a little bit better this time. Okay, so this first one is 3, and that is their super white kind of metallic shade. And then this one is Clumsy, which is that sort of pinky shade. Put a little bit more in there so you can really see it. And you can see the base for that one is pretty light, so you do still get a good amount of like color payoff for that, and it's not going to leave like a cast when you blend it out. This next one is Till the World Ends, and it's more of like a peachy gold kind of color. It's that third one here, and you can see these really do have a great reflect. And then the fourth one that I'm going to swatch is Unusual You. This is the one that is sort of peachy and has that blue flip to it. Let's see if we can catch that on camera. So it looks mostly white here, but you can kind of see the blueness. I'll see if I can post some pictures as well in this video so that you can see the blueness a little bit better. But it has a very like peach undertone. And I have 2 more for you, which is Liar, that's the purple to white duochrome kind of shade, and then Forget, which is that green shade with the glitter. And I would say that the purpleness of this is a very like pink leaning purple. So you can kind of see there. This is much more challenging than it looks, guys. So it's like purple on the base, and then where the light hits it, it really just pops more of like that white kind of tone. And then the last one is Forget, and this is the mint green with the glitters. I think this one is much easier to see in terms of the color tone. So let me see if I can do some close-up swatches for you guys that you can see these a little bit easier. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of a closer look at the 6 shades that I picked up. I will go ahead and insert some pictures that I took in low lighting to see if I can better demonstrate for you some of the shifts in some of these colors. One other thing that I will draw your attention to is some of the shades are hand poured and hand mixed. And so because of that, they do include different colors to bring out the tones that they're looking for in each highlight. One example that I have is Till the World Ends. This particular shade, you can see on the edges that there's still a little bit of like blue and green remnants. When I first got this shade, it had blue and green all over the top of it, and when I swatched it, it actually came out as more of an olive green color, which definitely was not going to work on my skin tone. I think it would make me look really, really sick. So I ended up taking a spoolie and scratching off the surface of that one in order to get it to look a little bit more of like the peachy tone that was promised in the listing for that product. Now with that said, I was able to get that more peachy tone, but I did have to scrape away a significant amount of product off of the top of the pan in order to do that. For some of the colors that are separated and you swirl them together to get that shade that you're looking for, just be aware that that could happen to you as well. In addition, one of the pans that I got did have an animal hair in it, and I did make the seller aware of that, just so that she could keep an eye out for that in future products that she's making. She did offer to send me another pan, but I just again took a spoolie and scratched out that portion of the pan, and I didn't feel like wasting an entire pan of product over that one thing. But I do think that it's good that they offered the replacement. So now with all of that said, let's talk about the actual products. Do I think it's worthwhile to pick them up? I think if you have a deeper skin tone, I would check these out because they do create shades that will work on deeper skin tones and are not specifically intended for very light skin tones. I also think if you're looking for an unusual shade of a highlighter, that you might be drawn to these, because finding that like peach to blue duochrome, finding a mint kind of shade highlighter, some of those like purpley kind of shades, those aren't going to be things that you find on a regular basis when you're looking at more mainstream highlighter products. However, there are some other products in the mainstream that cater to a similar product line. For example, the Moon Prism palette from ABH. Moonchild? I can't remember. Moon something. Palette from ABH, and I do have that one. Some of the shades in that palette are similar to this. However, the blues and purples lean much cooler in that shade range than they do in the singles that I picked up. If you're somebody who's very fair skinned, I think there are so many other highlighters available to you that you probably don't need to go the route of this particular brand. In addition, if you're somebody who does not like powdery, chalky kind of formulas, you're gonna struggle with this one because of how much kick up there is. Will I use these products? Yes. Will I purchase additional ones? Probably not, just because I think there are other formulas out there that I like better. There's other shade ranges out there that I like better, but I was happy to be able to try these at that lower price point. I do feel that the $5, $5.50 price point is much more reasonable for these. Had I paid $9 or $10 a piece for these, I think I would have been pretty disappointed with my purchase. Do I think you need to buy it? Not necessarily. Like I said, I think there are products there that cater to a variety of skin tones, which I think is nice, but I think you can find equally good products in other ranges, so I'm not sure you need to go out of your way to purchase from Sparrow Cosmetics. So with that being said, disclaimer, I did not try any of their eyeshadows, I did not try their lashes or their lip products, and they have some absolutely beautiful products in those ranges, so those things may be worth a try. That completes this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Leave a comment down below if you've tried anything from their brand, and if you haven't tried anything from their brand, leave a comment down below of some of your favorite like duochrome and multi-chrome highlighters, because I'm definitely on the hunt. I thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!